back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. The future NBA and what the fans have been waiting for. The future players of the new NBA that want to compete. You can see these guys up top. You got guys like Wemby, Giannis, Joker. I keep forgetting this guy's name. Paolo. You guys got the guy. I don't know. I always forget his name for some reason. I can't. Paolo Banchero, something like that. We got Donovan Mitchell. We got Halliburton. We have, oh man, Luka. Did I say Joker? Yeah, we got Joker. We got Donovan Mitchell. And then we got Michael Jordan's son right here. The son of Michael Jordan, right? The next Michael Jordan. Come on. Anthony Edwards. Who am I forgetting? What's this guy's name that plays for the Knicks? Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson. Okay, we got Jalen Brunson. These are the new guys, the new stars of the NBA. These guys want to compete. Okay, and let me tell you something. I think if they change the rules back to defensive rules, I think these guys still would compete at a high level. I'm serious. I think these guys still will compete. So let's look on the bottom right here. The past NBA that fans want to forget about ever happened. The past players of the old NBA that cried, flopped, complained, whined, and built super teams because they didn't want to compete, right? You got guys like Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, PG-13. Yes, sir. We're going to throw in Curry. We're going to throw in Curry because Curry felt like it was okay to build a super team and go above and beyond what LeBron did. Okay? So nobody in them 210s is safe. And why don't put like people like Devin Booker in here? And it's because he's still young. He's going to be playing on for the next, I don't know, 8 years. So the NBA should be excited about what they see. You know, we would like to throw in people like Joel Embiid. Hopefully he can stop crying and whining and play basketball because that's the 210s who brought that into the NBA. And he's not part of the 210s. I think he might have was he drafted in the 210s? Maybe 19, right? 2019. But he's not part of the 210s, okay? That's not his real era. This is his era up top. He's got those, I don't know what you want to call it. I can't think of the name. But those type of qualities that he done, obtained is from watching LeBron, from watching the James Harden, from watching these guys flop and cry and whine and all this nonsense. This is where he got that from playing, with these guys. Even Luka. Even Luka does a lot of this crap, and this is from the LeBron era. They wasn't doing this stuff back in Europe. They probably laugh at you. They definitely would laugh at you in the 90s. You wouldn't even, they'd be like, what? What is you doing? You okay? That would be for something like Dennis Rodman, right? Dennis Rodman. Because like Sports and Fitness Rant says, the star players didn't do that. The only time you would catch a star player flopping like this was maybe on a charge. But you would, Back in the day, if you was going to stand in the lane and take that charge, you was going to take that charge. You was going to get it. You might have a tooth knocked out. You might have a bloody nose. You might have a concussion. But you dudes will stand in and take that charge. And maybe, the offensive player, he might step around it and the defender might flop to get that charge. That's the only flopping I've ever seen. I've never seen, until the LeBron era, I've never seen a guy shoot the ball and flop to get a call. I've never seen that. And literally scream every time you shoot. Ah! Like, what? You can't even touch nobody these days. So what are you screaming about in the first place? That would be like for the 90s and the 80s or something like that. And they still would look at you crazy if somebody didn't actually hit you or touch you or really foul you. They would be looking at you crazy. You will lose all respect. So on the bottom, you see these guys right here. Their careers was built off of super teams, narratives, losing, all this stuff, crying and flopping. And I'm sorry to put Curry in here, but it is what it is. He built this super team. I mean, you could take 2 championships away from him. I mean, does he win 2 against LeBron? Does LeBron win 2 in Miami without a super team? With just him and Wade. You got to remember, some things can be respectable, even though it'll be frowned upon. You know what I'm saying? If LeBron would have just went to Miami and played with Wade, that still would have been insane because he was a top 5 player of all time. I'm trying to tell you guys, you don't understand how LeBron screwed up the game. It basically started in the 2005 offseason when they changed the defensive rules. No more hand checking, or we can listen. Let's talk about this for a minute. Well, let me say this real quick. Let me finish what I got to say. I don't want to be like Charles Barkley and can't finish the sentence. I swear, the only people, they only like Charles Barkley because he's an idiot. He can't even finish the sentence, and he's looked at like this intelligent guy. Like, come on, get the hell out of here. So, LeBron, they changed the rules for this guy in the 2005 offseason, no hand checking, no elbows in the back in the post, or no rough play. He makes the playoffs the next season. Remember, in 2005, he couldn't make the playoffs. He had an all-star teammate. Shh, don't say nothing. The media. Remember, Michael Jordan is crushed for not having an all-star teammate until 1990, but he was supposed to beat the Big Five Celtics 2 years in a row in the best of 5. Yet Shaq was swept so many times, it's not even funny. They don't never use that against Shaq, right? With all-star teammates. How about you being swept in the NBA Finals 2 times? 2 times. 2 times. And then they'll point to LeBron's competition versus a Michael Jordan who just came into the league, putting up historical numbers in a loss with no help. No Hall of Fame teammate, no All-Star teammate, with no help. But yet LeBron got swept. He didn't have no All-Star team, no Hall of Fame teammate, no All-Star teammate in 07. No? Ilgauskas was an All-Star the year before. And again, you're making other people's points. How weak was the LeBron era then in the East? He's getting to the NBA Finals after only being in the playoffs 1 year prior. The prior year before that year, he couldn't even make the playoffs 2 years in a row. So now he's in the NBA playoffs with no Hall of Fame teammates, no All-Star teammates that year. How weak is that East? Because in the 80s, you needed 3 to 5 Hall of Famers just to make it to the finals. See, certain people couldn't be on TV, right? Because what they're reading off of is a script. It's all scripted. These guys on the bottom, their career is scripted. So every time they messed up, they failed, it was an excuse by the first takes. The odd couples, the frog couples, undisputed, all these different type of talk shows, it was an excuse. In the 90s, there was no excuse. There was no debate shows. People didn't make excuse for your failures. Either you won or you lost. If you won, you was the better winner. If you lost, you went back to the gym and practiced harder. You didn't make no excuses. You got better. Everybody, you worked on your game. You got back to the chalkboard with the X's and O's. These are the things you did. There was no excuses. That's childish stuff. But these talk shows were able to treat these millionaires who made tens of millions, which to me, I've already told you, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. If you want to believe it, you can believe it. I got my own theories about that. We talked about this, and that's a whole different subject. But let's just say these guys are millionaires. They made excuses for millionaires. They made excuses why these guys needed to pair up and create these super teams. To me, it was just so that they could charge more money to see these guys play. A circus act. More money for popcorn, more money for parking, more money for merch, more money for tickets, more money for alcohol. The people is dumb. You really don't, in this era, you don't have real fans. Not trying to be mean. A lot of these guys are a lot of these fans are casual fans. As soon as they change the NBA to what it is now, where's the complaint from the fans? 4 guys sitting at the 3-point line? Where's the positional players? This would be like, I keep trying to tell you, this would be like the equivalent to the NFL saying, we're getting rid of the offensive line and the defensive line, and all we're keeping is the linebackers. No, my fault. We're getting rid of the offensive line, the defensive line, and we're going to keep everybody else. So if you know football, you know you're going to keep the quarterback, the running back, the linebackers, the receivers, the defensive backs, and the tight end. That's who we're going to keep. Okay, so this is the new football. It's a gimmick game. This is not it wouldn't be football anymore. Right? And then they start telling you these guys are better now than past players. You'd be like, what? But these guys played a whole different game in the past. We don't care. Oh boy. So yeah. So let's get back into what I was talking about. Yeah. Some of the dummies will tell you that no, they stopped hand checking and all this stuff back in, what did this guy say, like in 95 or 96? No, go watch it. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. You can go watch it if you want. Even when Michael Jordan was in Washington, they was hand checking him, and they was hand checking people, and they was putting the armed guards and stuff like that. So a lot of LeBron fans, they don't know what they're talking about. They'll just talk because they hear something. They won't confirm what they hear. Yes, they put that rule in, but they kept doing it. It was subjective if they wanted to call it. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like, let's say this. Okay, when they put this rule in 90, 95, 96, if you could hand check and you could still put a arm bar or elbow in the post, but are you forcing it? Are you forcing it? You know what I'm saying? While the offensive guy is really coming at you, or you like standing your ground while you're backing up, something like that. Now, in 2005 offseason, what they did was they strictly enforced it. That's what the new rule was. They could call it every time if they wanted to. Now, can we go back and look at 2006, 7, 8, and stuff like that, and we can see that players are still doing these things. Hand checking, arm guarding, and all this stuff. But the fact was, now the ref can call it whenever he wants to call it, and you cannot complain. You can't say nothing. So eventually, the players stop doing it. Especially when you're in a big time game, you're coming down a stretch, something like that. But by the 210s, right, it was basically a joke. It was basically a joke. And Kobe talked about this new defense, right? He didn't like it. And you can see in the 2006, and Kobe started going off. Kobe started scoring all these points. 40-point game, 50-point game, 60-point game, 80-point games. But the thing about Kobe, he wasn't consistent. He wasn't consistent in his scoring. Like Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan has 10 scoring titles. He was consistent in his 30-point games. That's the difference between him and Kobe. Michael Jordan was consistent. Kobe only won, 2 scoring titles? So Kobe wasn't consistent. So that's a whole different story. But yeah, hopefully these guys on top, I think Wemby is going to take this thing to a whole different level, whole different stratosphere. If you go back and watch my video I put out last night about Wemby, this guy only played 29 minutes as a rookie. Could you imagine them holding back Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Luka, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Larry Bird, any great player? Hey, bro, you can't play because you're a rookie. What? This is all nonsense. They didn't want him to outshine LeBron, right? Or break any records. This guy still averaged 3.6 blocks in only 29 minutes a game. That's insane. And the numbers that he put up, 2010, I don't know how, like 3 point something assists, 3.6 blocks. He averaged a full block over the second best player. The second, oh God, that's insane. In only 29 minutes. So like I said in the video, I mean, they just pop. You just messed up something special. Yes, this guy won Rookie of the Year. Yes, he won a blocks title. But man, this guy could have been breaking all kinds of records. He could have been breaking all kinds of records for a rookie. And they set this man down. For what? What was the purpose of sitting this man down? It makes no sense. Because they didn't want this guy to outshine LeBron James. This guy would have averaged at least 25 to 26, 5 blocks, 13 rebounds. And they held this man back. What? I mean, the stuff he's going to do this season, Anthony Edwards, you better get on your game, bro. You better get on your game. These guys are going to take the NBA to a whole new stratosphere that is going to be respectable again. All these guys up top. And it's some more too. I just couldn't fit them on here. But